This is Clemson Football 87 with Danny Ford. The following broadcast is brought to you by First Union National Bank, with new banking power for the people of South Carolina. And by the fine family of Carolina Pride Meats. The best things in life are made with pride. Carolina Pride. And by Coca-Cola. For Tiger fans, Coke is it. Your local sponsors are Sam Hughes Motors. Once a customer, always a friend. Peeler's Dairy. Freshness is our guarantee. And Spartan Automotive. For everything automotive, Spartan Automotive.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Clemson Football 87. It's game day for the Tigers against the Georgia Bulldogs in Death Valley. After a road trip, Coach, it's good to be home, and the best place to play, Georgia, I guess, is at home.
Can't think of a better place to play the Bulldogs than at Clemson. Is a wonderful place we have here to play, and a great home field advantage. Hopefully it'll help us today.
Georgia comes into this ball game with an offense that you've described perhaps as good as the great one that was led by Herschel Walker.
I think every bit as good. I really believe that. They have a magician at quarterback in Jackson and a big, strong running back and Tate at tailback, and a very strong and pretty experienced offensive line, which people don't realize. They got 2 4-year starters up there at the offensive guards, and the guy that played center last year, and there's tight ends back from last year. So the only place they're young is at offensive tackles.
And, of course, all the preseason hype from Georgia has been about the return of the Junkyard Dogs, and they usually don't say something unless they have something to back it up, and that'll be a test for Clemson's offense today. We'll take a look and see how things turned out when we're joined by Jim Phillips, the voice of the Tigers, for first-half highlights. Please stay with us.
It was exactly 45 years to the day that the Tigers began the tradition of running down the hill. Back in 1942, they had a win over PC after their run. A national television audience joined 82,000 plus, and Danny Ford prepared to watch his troops go into action against Georgia. James Jackson back to pass, rolling left, finds running room, and picks up 6 yards before he's knocked down by Vince Taylor. Lars Tate, who would have 84 yards rushing on the afternoon, had tough running to get 2 here before James Earl smacked him to the ground. Once again, Jackson rolling around the right side, wants to throw, but going to hang on, and he'll be bounced out of bounds. Now looking to throw to the end zone. Osborne is there, but double coverage. Jackson dumps it out of the end zone. So the Tiger defense has bent a bit, but they do not break. And Crumley comes on to kick a 21-yard field goal that puts Georgia on top of the Tigers by a score of 3-0. A 56-yard drive in 12 plays. Clemson in their second possession of the afternoon. Rodney Williams passes to Cooper. Gary stretches it out for 20 yards and shows some great running ability here. He's come a long way.
We've been calling that play, and then Rodney checked off a couple times. So we decided to call it one more time. And when we did, the cornerback went back deep, and Rodney gave me the ball. And I just ran, and Ricardo Hooper made a great block, and I just ran up inside him. I wish I could have cut my balance.
From ground level, take a look now. Rodney Williams around the right side picks up 12 hard-earned yards. Now to Tracy Johnson. Hits off right tackle, picks up 6 yards. Tigers moving with the football. But it bogs down, and David Treadwell comes on, kicks a 30-yarder, and the Tigers have tied it 3-3. 12 plays, 60 yards. Tigers right back in it. Neither team moves substantially in their next possessions. And then Sile punting 37 yards. Look out. Nate Lewis down the sidelines. Gets free on a great comeback block and goes 76 yards for a touchdown. And the Bulldogs look as though they may be off and running. That kicking game that so oftentimes comes into play in this series has come on once again. Now the Tigers with the football. Rodney Williams trying to get them motivated. Moves it downfield to Jennings, a 17-yard pickup. And then a great trap block is going to spring Tracy Johnson on the very next play. His longest run from scrimmage as a Clemson Tiger, as he hits it for 38 yards and the touchdown, and suddenly a tie football game once again at 10-10.
I knew I didn't have enough room, and I saw him coming, and I tried to edge toward the sideline a little bit, put a little space between us. and luckily I got across because I'm at full speed right now. Rodney noticed online, he made a good call. It was a combination, and he noticed that the linebackers came up, and it just happened that we had that dive play called, and it was successful.
It looked as though this one was going to bounce back and forth for a while. Here's Tate trying the right side, and once more, not much room. Richard Smith with the tackle for the Tigers. So Jackson back to pass, looking, pressure from James Earl, throws incomplete, intended for Sadowski as tight end. Crumley was to miss a 41-yard field goal effort. The Tigers couldn't move it, and Georgia gets it right back. Tate this time tries the left side. Beasley, Lott are there. No gain on the play. And then one of those weird happenings. Watch the punt. Straight up in the air. An 11-yard punt rolling dead at the Georgia 34-yard line. So the Tigers get a big break. Tigers, though, did not have a lot of success moving the ball, so they call on Treadwell again, and he boots a 43-yarder. Now it's 13-10 Tigers. No TD, but good results.
You know, we got to a point that all of us been there for a while. If we keep our attitudes real positive, and if we, like I said, just keeping that chin up and just, you know, knowing that our defense will give us another chance, and that's what it takes, and it paid off today in a big way.
2:34 left on the clock. Georgia racing down the field. Jackson back to pass and throws incomplete to Thomas. Good pressure that time. Made him throw a little early. Ganny's back to pass. This time has to scramble. And down he goes as Gene Beasley gets him after a 6-yard pickup. So that brings on Crumley. A 28-yard effort. Hits through the mid of the uprights. And the Tigers and the Bulldogs are tied at halftime. It's a 13-13 ball game, and no one has the advantage.
As you take a look at the first half statistics, you can see that virtually everything is even. The one big exception is in return yardage, where Georgia has a substantial edge, and of course that led to a touchdown. We'll be along with our halftime activities when we return. Please stay with us. So at halftime, it's Clemson 13, Georgia 13. First half, just about what everyone expected it to be. Good, hard, tough football. And both teams playing very, very well through the first half. You know, before the game, there were some very special ceremonies here at Clemson. Not many people have had their jersey retired. In fact, in the history of Clemson University before today, only 3 players had ever had their jerseys retired. Steve Fuller in football, Tree Rollins in men's basketball, and Barbara Kennedy in women's basketball. But one player had 2 jerseys retired. Clemson's only 2-sport All-America, Banks McFadden. And Jane Roblo tells us a little bit more about the gentleman who was honored today at halftime of the Clemson-Georgia game. Here's Jane with our halftime feature.
Banks and Aggie McFadden are Clemson loyalists. They've made their home here ever since they were married. Walk with the McFaddens up their front steps and you'll have no doubt these folks are Tigers through and through.
There's a closeness that is hard to explain. Once you're a Clemson person, you're always a Clemson person.
We just love Clemson, and I don't think Banks could be pulled away from here.
And Clemson loves the McFaddens, too. Banks brought a lot of positive national recognition to this school, being named All-American in football and basketball. In 1940, he was selected as the nation's most versatile athlete and later was voted into the National Football Hall of Fame. The list continues when you go through Banks' accomplishments as a player and as a coach. And through it all, through all the years, he's kept the one thing that makes Banks McFadden a true All-American: his modesty and his perspective.
All my life, I think, I've been blessed. Athletically wise, I think my family, the good Lord gifted me with some athletic ability. The coaches took me and trained me and grew me into something that I was fortunate enough to receive credit where maybe the whole team was doing all the work.
Naturally, when you ask Banks which of his many honors and awards mean the most to him, he'll take an opportunity to praise someone else.
Probably. But we go back to the days when your team votes on different things. For your teammates to vote you something, I think is very important. To me, it was And I guess my football year when they selected me as the most outstanding player, our teammates did. And that was a very, very high honor. Then to be selected as an individual to be the most versatile athlete in the United States, that's a lot of a personal accomplishment.
In spite of all of the attention that Banks has gotten for his athletic accomplishments, none of those compare with another event in Banks' life.
When I married Aggie, I guess that was the highlight of my career, in my way of thinking. We've had 4 lovely daughters. She did all of the work, and they always call home every weekend. So I would say that probably marrying her was the highlight of anything that's ever happened to me in my lifetime.
He's a wonderful husband and a wonderful father. And I don't think you can ask for much more.
Banks McFadden, All-American in every way.
So at halftime, 13-13 tie. All the action of the second half coming up when we return with Jim Phillips, the voice of the Tigers, for second half highlights. So please stay with us.
Tigers received the football to begin the second half, but on the 6th play, they fumbled it over to Georgia. And so here come the Bulldogs. Lars Tate tries the right side. Strong defense. Knocked down after a pickup of 4 yards. Jackson now on the keeper. No gain. Otis Moore in with the tackle along with Norman Haynes. Georgia now tries a fake field goal, but Nate Lewis is tackled for a loss of 8 by Beasley and Lott and Michael Dean Perry. Tigers not falling for the trickery. Clemson with the ball again now. Terry Allen in action. Off the right side, he'll pick up 7 tough yards. Again, they'll call on Allen as the running game continues. This time sweeps to the left and gets another 7 yards. But unable to sustain the drive, the Tigers have to turn it over. Sile punts 37 yards. Lewis waiting for it. Spry snapped it. Got down. Now recovers the fumble here. Nice job.
I thought he was decoying me at first, and because I picked up the punt and nobody covered me. And we went down. I thought he'd misjudged it a little bit when he turned to turn, and it bounced off his shoulder pads. And after that, it was just kind of a reflex. I just jumped on the ball. About 3 people had a hold of it at one time, and it was just, after I got up, I felt like I'd been in a war. I felt like I'd run about 200-yard sprints, but it was worth it.
So the Tigers would have the football 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. But once more, the offense sputtering a bit. And so David Treadwell called upon, kicks a 29-yard field goal. He ties Obed Ariri's record of 4 field goals in one game on a great afternoon against the Dogs. So Georgia with the football again. Jackson passing to Thomas. Wolford is there to make the big hit after a 2-yard pickup. Tiger defense working hard. Jackson down again.
Yeah, you're always thinking about him getting outside. You know, Jackson's speed and Tate's speed, so, you know, both of them are good backs and they run the ball well, so, you know, I had to get outside and contain them and try to keep them inside so Michael Dean and them can hit on them a little bit.
Going to see a couple more defensive gems here. James Earl this time hits Hampton. No gain, going to the right side. Then it's Michael Dean Perry's opportunity to go after Hampton. Nails him for a 1-yard loss. So Georgia has to punt the football over to the Tigers, and Clemson will get it once again. Rodney Williams back to throw, looking, finds Cooper over the middle. Good throw, good catch. 1st down for the Tigers. Ready to go to the 4th quarter. Terry Allen, who had 97 yards rushing on the afternoon, gets the pitch on the 1st play of the quarter and picks up 7 yards to the left side. Good job of running.
Well, the offensive line, they did a great job opening up the holes for us, and we just hit them hard as we could and tried to get as much as we could for them.
But the Tiger offense sputtered again, and David Treadwell's 42-yard field goal effort was no good. Georgia, after 1 first down, beginning to drive at the 26. Now Jackson finds Warner over the middle, even though under pressure, and it's a big 1st down for the Dogs. Then 2 plays later, Hampton headed to the left side. Looked as if he's giving up. Should have been knocked down. Almost slipped down, but he gets into the end zone. And the Georgia Bulldogs take the lead at 20-16. Clemson coming back. Here's Rodney. Looking, throw back. Coley, 4-yard pickup. And now, probably the big play of the game. Rusty Sile to punt, a 43-yarder. Downed on the 1-yard line by Johnson. Oh, it's so close. Whistle blew, though, before he fell into the end zone. Rusty averaged 41.8 on these punts for the day.
Anytime the ball's inside the 50, we just try to hang it up high and let the cover team get down there and hopefully down it inside the 5 or 10, or like today, make something happen.
Now another big play. Jackson rolling to his left, an all-out Clemson blitz. There's Carter. There's Lott. Now Beasley stands him up. 2 more points. It's 20-18. Tigers trail by 2.
That's right. It was an all-out blitz, and the defensive ends ran outside, the linebackers ran inside, and luckily, we got the safety. I mean, everybody on the team, wanted to make something happen because we wanted to get the ball back to our offense, and we did.
After the free kick, Tigers on the drive. Here's Wesley McFadden. Good job of running. Cuts it back to the right side, picks up 11 yards, and that line's working well once again.
And it's just kind of like a snowball. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and you see 5, you see 10, you see a 12-yard gain. Terry Allen did a great job of making some own holes on himself. We didn't do everything, but for the most part, we just started to roll. When we got rolling, we can feel it, and once you get going, it's a good feeling, and we were able to handle them.
A couple of big runs. Terry Allen starts left, now gets outside, picks up 11 big yards. Tigers have made their way now to the Georgia 33. Again, the pitch on the corner to Allen. Back against the grain. Picks up 16 big yards. That is a clutch 3rd and 7 run.
No, there was never really any panic out there. We had to keep reminding ourselves, and the coaches kept reminding us to keep your head in the ball game, because your head's what's going to win it for you in this one.
Keep cool they did. The Tigers drove it to the Georgia 5-yard line. Clock ticking down. David Treadwell on to try for that 4th field goal of the day. 21-yard effort. Up, good. Tigers had won it 21-20, 2nd year in a row.
I was ready to kick the ball. I didn't realize the clock was running down as low as it was. After I hit it, I looked and I saw there was only 2 seconds left. I was like, God, we got to get off the field. I didn't realize there was, that little time left. But, I owe a lot of credit to my snapper, David Spry, my holder, Greg Bailey, and the guys that protected for me. Excellent job. I couldn't do it without them.
So there it was for all the world to see. Tigers now kicking off. This is going to do it. Reggie Harris will catch up, knock him down. Ball game's history. Tigers capture the win. Tigers have defeated Georgia for a 2nd consecutive time. There was much celebrating in Clemson.
The stats prove out Clemson's dominance rushing the football in the second half. That really made a lot of the difference. Head coach Danny Ford will be along with his thoughts on the game right after this. First off, congratulations. A good win, and if there's such a thing as having almost a mirror put up to last year's game, it certainly was in terms of the way it came down to the end once again.
The distance of the field goal is a lot different, but as far as the seconds remaining on the clock, we had 0 last year. I think we had 2 this time, so that's 2 close enough. That's probably a good one to quit playing Georgia on for a while, rest a while.
Talk a little bit about one aspect of the game that I think we saw early, and that was patience. This game was won, I think, as much with the team playing smart and keeping their poise as much as anything.
Well, and I think our assistant coaches and our players overcame a lot of the bad things that I did today, and I think they were a whole lot more patient than I was. We tried to win the football game with defense. We played pretty good in our kicking team also. We missed 1 field goal, but we had to win it when we had to have it, so we were very pleased with that. I don't know that it was the greatest execution of football that we've ever done, or that Georgia's ever done, either one, but it was a well of a football game to watch, a very close, very hard-fought contest, very clean football game, and one that I think both of us will look at in the coming week on film and say that we could have done this and done this better, but it's history now, and it was a good game to watch and play in. And our coaches and players played awful hard. Real proud of them. I'm proud of our football team defensively, especially because, when we gave up 7 points and when they got in the end zone, well, that's okay. It took them nearly shoot 6 for 8, nearly 9 or 10 quarters for that to happen. So we hold them, everybody off the scoreboard for that many more. We'll be in good shape defensively. Offensively, when we had to win, we won. We moved the ball when we had to move it. Wasn't recommended all the time the way we did it, but then David Treadwell becomes hero again, and Clemson win.
Obviously, beating Georgia now 2 years in a row, first time in gosh knows how long that's happened. 1905 is the record. Set you up now. You move into conference play next week.
Well, you know, the press, of course, they're going to write about the schedule and all this kind of thing, but Georgia Tech will be a whole lot bigger stumbling block than Georgia would be. It's a conference game. Georgia Tech will play very good. Our people have to come back down to earth tomorrow and go back to work on the field and get better. And there are a lot of places we can improve. But again, we're going to enjoy it for a little bit and then let our people have some fun.
Congratulations on a good win and good luck next week, Coach.
Well, I congratulate our players and coaches and the great fans that we had out there. They stuck in there with us.
This broadcast was brought to you by First Union National Bank of South Carolina, bringing new banking power to you. And by the fine family of Carolina Pride Meats. The best things in life are made with pride. Carolina Pride. And by Coca-Cola. For Tiger fans, Coke is it. Your local sponsors are Sam Hughes Motors. Once a customer, always a friend. Peeler's Dairy. Freshness is our guarantee. And Spartan Automotive. For everything automotive, Spartan Automotive.